guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So Global got the announcements for Gamma 1 and Gamma 2's Dokkan events, right? Remember that both Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, they are Dokkan Festival exclusive characters. They're on the same banner, and they both have their Dokkan Fest events, right? Right now, the only characters that awaken with their medals are themselves, but I'm sure, perhaps future LRs and stuff like that. I think in particular Gamma 2, him as an LR, that, sort of like final attack he does, I think is absolutely like LR worthy, right? So I would definitely, probably advise to grind up some of these medals just to have hanging around. We never know, right? They've never introduced the character as an LR before. But I think like Beast Gohan, they certainly just could, right? Like it's always one of these things where it's like they've never done it before, but I mean, they could just do it, right? Like, for Beast Gohan, I think it would make sense, right? So, keep that in mind. Okay. Although, one thing to keep in mind is that, for Legends, right? Legendary Finish characters are essentially Dokkan Fest exclusive characters. And then Ultra Rarity characters in Legends are essentially the LRs in Dokkan, right? And Beast Gohan was just a Legendary Finish or a Dokkan Fest exclusive, like TUR. Essentially, is what Beast Gohan was in Legends. So, we'll see. What he looks like over in Dokkan, right? So, we have both Gamma 1 and 2. Let's go and take a look at their banner. I assume the banner will be the same on Global. I assume. Now, if that is truly the case, though, I do just want to quickly... I'm just going to... I know I can find it really fast over here on Dokkan Info. The Resurrection F Blues... I don't, like, just, when Global decides to do this, where it's like, oh, we're gonna slide this thing up here, and move this around here, and do this here, and blah, 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 what can happen is, then, all of a sudden, if there's a release that's, I would say, a little bit under-tuned compared to some other characters, like the Resurrection F Blues are, even Jacko is certainly not on par with the new banner units, hell no, right? And then, look at this banner. This is now shaping up, I think, to be potentially... the worst, like one of the worst global banners ever, right? Like, look at this. And it's like, as Dokkan Fest TURs and stuff like that, release, I do like to keep sort of updated tier lists now, right? I feel like it sort of gives a good look at the strength of a lot of characters and stuff like that. If we would just quickly take a look at what I have for these, we would see that, unfortunately, for the Resurrection F Blues, I don't think they make the cut anymore. I don't think the Resurrection F Blues are even good enough to be on a top 10 Dokkan Fest TUR list. So, it's like, this is a character... the other thing, too, this unit very well could drop in a couple of days. Very, very, I don't want to say likely, but very possible, right? They could come out in a couple of days, and then LR Vegeta and Trunks could be in December, or whatever. But I think this unit could end up showing up in, like, January or February. Just imagine if, like, Beast Gohan is out by then. This would be, like, the 15th best Dokkan Fest TUR or something like that. It's just crazy. And this banner's not the greatest either, right? Super Vegeta, I'm not a fan of. In Super Battle, he'll be good forever in Super Battle. Guaranteed stuns. He legitimately, Super Vegeta will always be good in Super Battle Road because of that. But I'm not the biggest fan of these guys back here, right? Like, this guy's okay-ish in some spots with all of the things he does, but not crazy. The tech androids, they're now, I think, much better with Gamma 2 in the game, because Gamma 2, of course, leads the android team, but it's still one of these things where it's like, as more and more better characters are coming out, now all of a sudden Ginyu and the androids, who, for me, have been staples at basically 1 and 2 all year, they're plummeting. At this point, the androids and Ginyu, right? These new units they've dropped recently, Gamma 1, Gamma 2, these guys are just on a different level. These are the first characters Global is getting that I'm going to sort of dub like post Worldwide Celebration, right? Who's the unit Global just got? Pan? Pan is not a post Worldwide Download Celebration power level character, right? Gamma 1 and 2 are, and Kid Goku is, and then Android 8, the banner unit with Kid Goku are. These units are ridiculous. I think the only characters on par with the Gammas would be LR, Vegeta, and Trunks, who's not out on Global. Carnival LR Super Saiyan Goku, and Final Form Cooler. I think Gamma 1 is going to slide in as the third best character on release on Global Dokkan. These two are ridiculous. Gamma 1, he eats Cell Max super attacks. I've had him take 100k from a Cell Max super attack. Cell Max, right? Like the boss that does like 1.9 million or whatever the hell, right? And Gamma 1 just eats that shit. Just a ridiculously powerful character. They have really strong leader skills as well. They lead what I think is now the best category in the game, movie heroes. I would put it above Bond of Parent and Child now, because many of these recent mega top tier characters are on movie hero, but they're not on Bond of Parent and Child, right? Banner Unit, Android 8, Gamma 1, Gamma 2, the AGL, LR, Goku, and Vegeta, right? These are all characters that are on movie heroes, but not on Bond of Parent and Child. So I would argue movie heroes is the strongest team in the game right now. And it's crazy because Beast Gohan is on the horizon. Beast Gohan, Power Awakening Piccolo, Ultimate Gohan, Orange Piccolo. Like, there's a lot coming. Movie heroes right now is set to be a dominant force for a very long time. And remember, we have something like the STR Piccolo, the Banner Unit Piccolo, who is now, like, sort of slated, you know, when he gets his, you know, unit that he can link up with Orange Piccolo, things are going to be very crazy. The point being, I actually think that this is a decent banner to maybe throw some stones at if you're a global player. The only thing you have to keep in mind is, if you are a global player, you have to understand, and especially if you're free to play, you can't summon on everything and expect to walk away. Over the next couple of months, we don't know exactly how things are going to turn out, right? It's global. They always just throw shit randomly out. We have the Gammas, who are some of the best units ever on release, it feels like. Very, very strong. LR, Vegeta, and Trunks, I do think they're the best unit in the game, even still. Better than the Gammas and Cooler and all this stuff. But I hate their banner. I don't like the idea of summoning on their banner. I feel like the Gammas, you know, you have these two who are gods. The tech androids are very, very strong on Gamma 2's team, right? They can help you beat a lot of the red zone stages. Tech Gohan is very good. Piccolo, Android 13, and Dragon Ball Super Broly are ass, sure. But Piccolo and Dragon Ball Super Broly especially, these guys might be coming up in easy. Piccolo, I think Piccolo especially, could EZA during the superhero celebration. Broly's probably going to EZA during some major, like, anniversary or worldwide or something like that. I imagine they'd EZA this guy and the AGO Blue Gogeta at the same time during a major celebration. And then 13 might be a ways off. But, you know, these first 5, presuming that Piccolo is going to EZA within the next couple of months, this is pretty strong, actually, right? Like, it's like, at first glance, it doesn't seem that impressive, but the tech androids I think are much better on Gamma 2's team. They work actually pretty well with the Gammas. One big reason, of course, is the Gammas are gods incarnate in the game, right? Sure. But this banner is not too bad. Now, the only thing, though, if you do summon on this banner, you do want to keep in mind, I feel like there's a good chance that the Gammas could just immediately turn around and in, like, December or next month or something like that, be on Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo's banners. It's possible. I know you could sit there and say they're not going to bring them back, but they could. Right? The same thing with Beast Gohan. They could just make him an LR. They could. Right? You can't just sit there and say, they're not doing that. They could. You got to be ready, right? You have to be prepared that could be the way it's going to drop, right? And then remember, Heroes is coming at the end of November. A lot of those units might be good. I feel like we might get a Carnival LR in December, shared on Global and JP at the same time. LR Golden, the Resurrection of Blues suck, basically, compared to these characters. These level of characters, hell no. The Blues are not on this level. But LR Golden Frieza, I would say, is still like a top 10 unit in the game contender. So there is a lot of good stuff coming out in the future. You do want to keep that in mind. Again, the two Gammas, these guys are ridiculous. I look at their designs and it's like, I actually like it. I don't think, like, you know, if you pull up all these characters, I could, like, nitpick one or two things. Like, you know, they could do this right here. They could do that right here. Like, I look at Gamma 1 and the only thing would be him getting this crit after he receives 5 attacks. Maybe if you change that to him getting an additional. Like, what if he had a guaranteed additional, the 50% chance to be a super? I'd like that better than this crit, but that's like it, right? And then, like, Gamma 2. Like, the only thing I think I would ask for Gamma 2 is that maybe this great chance becomes a guaranteed double super. I think if this was guaranteed, that could help him out a lot defensively. In my experience, if Gamma 2 gets that second super in, he is very tanky, even against red zone bosses, and he could survive super attacks from million damage, super attack red zone bosses. Gamma 2 can with 2 supers. So, you know, we do want to keep that in mind. I love the designs of these guys. I think they're really good. Well, I guess Gamma won this, right? Rather than a counter, just make this a nullification. I think if you're going to pick a specific, like, super attack type that you're going to either counter or nullify, if you're going to counter, make it available against everything, because then if a boss cancels dodge, you can't use it. And if it's going to be a nullification, just make it against a certain type. It's very simple. But it being a counter against a certain type, not really the biggest fan of that. I guess that's the one thing, right? Very good characters. Now, this pretty much whole sort of third movie celebration, I expect this is all going to be the same on Global, except for this right here. Area 29 is obviously not dropping right now. Global doesn't even have Area 28 completed, right? So this is not going to be there. But, you know, more stages are going to continue to be added to Area 28, and then, you know, LR Vegito Blue, working up to his, EZA, right? You'll be able to fully do the process to EZA him. So let's see what we got here. So you have logins, you have missions, you have the Dokkanfest for Gamma 1 and 2, you have the 2, Dokkan events for both the Gamma 1 and 2, which is really good. We have the Stone Sale, we have the Dragon Ball superhero sort of like, story event, I guess. I call it that, but this first stage, this is Saiyan Saga. This is from Namek. This is the Cell games. And these last 3, these are from the Tournament of Power Universal Survival arc. All 3 of these rounds right here. So it's like, we have this event, and so far none of it has actually been the movie stuff, right? This Gohan is still unawakened. And then finally down here, we're going to be able to grind up these right here, which you can use to get like some Kais and stuff like that are available in the shop. You know, there's some good stuff that you can go ahead and grind up. Now remember that Global did make an oopsie a couple of months back, and on Twitter they accidentally tweeted out this banner image, except it said, like, you know, now grind the new support memory. So we do know in the future, again, presumably when Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo come out, this is going to have a support memory, but it doesn't have one yet, right? So we have that. And then right here we have the Elder Kais. We got that. With this part, of course, is not coming. I think Global will just get some new stages to Area 28. And then Cell Max, they made a huge change to the Cell Max event. Can we take a look at this? So now, special pose characters, artificial life form characters, and then all the characters from Dragon Ball Superhero, these 5 currently, these guys, dude, I'm telling y'all, like watch some videos of the Cell Max event with Gamma 1 and 2. You're finishing Cell Max in like 3 turns. They're doing so much damage. It's insane, right? Like, they fodderized Cell Max so fast in terms of his health that it's like, I'm tempted to just say, like, Broly's like the hardest fight again, right? And the entire artificial life form and special pose categories, they have been made to do all this increased damage as well. They still take the same amount of damage, right? But you're doing just huge chunks. A character like AGL Cell right here can just do millions of health per turn to Cell, depending upon how things go. And the reason for this, right, they add several new missions in with this revamp, right, giving the extra damage, a special pose, and artificial life form. So there now is a mission to clear it within 8 turns. This is easy. Even if you don't pull Gamma 1 and 2, you bring a friend, Gamma 2, in, and he gets one of these 4 super attack or 5 super attack crit turns. He could 1-turn Cell Max. Right, so this is really not that hard. Literally, you just find a good Gamma 2 friend running like a movie hero team or something. Like, it's easy. I'm telling y'all, this is a joke with Gamma 2. And you don't need to summon Gamma 2. You could just use him as a friend. So you do want to keep that in mind, right? Then beating it without support items. I mean, that'll still be tricky, right? Senzus and stuff like that, sure. Then you just have to beat it with a full special pose category team and a full artificial life form category team. These can certainly be tougher, but I've seen many clears done. Full android team led by the Cells, and, a Gotenks team with like a friend Gamma 2. The point is, you're still able to bring the Gammas have great leader skills. So you're able to bring the Gammas in as friends, and they can carry the load, right? You don't need Gamma 1 Rainbowed, Gamma 1 Rainbowed, Gamma 2 Rainbowed, and Gamma 1's SSR Rainbowed to beat this, right? You just need one of them as the friend, and it's going to be enough. They just completely disintegrate this event, so there we go. There is everything that should be coming to Global. Global should be getting the data download later tonight. And then the banner should drop just a little bit under 48 hours, right? So it should be At my time, it'll be the 28th at 2:30 a.m. I believe is when Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 should officially release, right? So let me know what you guys think about the Gamma 1 and 2 coming to Global. Again, they're good enough to summon on. I think their banner's decent, right? You got Tech Gohan, the Tech Androids, who are definitely solid units. But my only concern is I do feel like the Gammas could have a really fast turnaround. Much faster than most units because they're from the movie. And I could see Dokkan further making Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo's banner. Imagine, again, I think Gamma 1 right now in Global is going to be the third best unit in the game. Imagine Beast Gohan drops in November and Gamma 1 is on Beast Gohan. He's a second unit on Beast Gohan's banner, right? Like, that could happen. So, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.